Welcome back to Coast Vue. I really enjoyed that conversation with Chris Wells. And, we had the opportunity to talk to so many incredible public servants who are doing really important work. And you think about the work of the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality in a normal day, the work that they do is really important, as he discussed, sort of subdivided in these 4 different categories. But when you add in all of these restoration funds and other funds that have come back to the state as a result of the BP oil spill and the incredible work that they're going to be doing, or they are doing, as it relates to restoration here in coastal Mississippi, it's really, really significant. And of course, this event's coming up on November the 10th, and there will be literally having, displays of all the different restoration activities and the people who are involved in those activities. And what I mentioned to him when we were off the air, we'll come back after that November 10th Restoration Summit, and we'll visit some more about, what were some of the more notable projects that touch a lot of people. And we'll come back and talk about some projects and give you a sense of just the scope and scale of it all. Is pretty incredible. Hey, before we get to our next guest, I want to bring you into some really incredible conversations that we've had over the course of the last week. I had a great discussion with Laurie Jackson. She's my friend who is an independent missionary in Ukraine, and she's done such great work there, and the work that the Ukrainian people are doing under these terrible circumstances. And again, in the heart and soul of Ukrainians, you see Mississippians. They care deeply about their community, et cetera. Had a great conversation with DA Crosby Parker. Spent a whole hour with him. If you missed that, you ought to go to the SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast Facebook page and listen to that. What an incredible experience before he became the DA and making the decision to go into public office like he did. Just awesome. And then also had an hour-long visit with the Secretary of State, Michael Watson. And again, still just an incredible conversation about a public servant who's doing so much work just to almost re-engineer the way the Secretary of State's office worked to make it more streamlined and make it easier for people to be able to do business in the state. He's been really focused on the elections, and anyway, you can go back and take a close look at that. So we're going to be moving over now to my friend Martha Allen, who's the executive director of Extra Table. And let me look at Kyle, make sure we're good to bring Martha in. Yeah, Martha, let's do a little mic check. Are you okay, Martha?
I am. Are we
good
live?
To see you. Yeah, it's great to see you.
Yay.
Hey, so look, Extra Table is really important. And of course, the holidays are right around the corner. You guys have a really innovative approach that you're taking to get turkey sponsored to go into homes. But we'll come back to that in just a second. Just generally, how are things going at Extra Table these days?
Everything is going great. We're super busy, which is awesome. And, the face of hunger has changed so much in the past. 2020, it was COVID, laid off. Then you have the supply chain, and now we have inflation. So our food pantries are busy. We are busy fundraising in order to purchase them the most quality ingredients to feed families. And so we're just rocking and rolling around here. I'm proud to be a part of fighting hunger in Mississippi.
Well, you've been good partners with my friend Robert St. John, the restaurateur, and really notable personality in this state. I've been watching him actually in his Italian travels, and got another group of people over there again. But
he left me here. I'm still here.
You're still there.
Still here.
As we both know, that's become kind of the Tuscany region of Italy has become sort of a second home for him. And during the pandemic, he almost withered up and died because he didn't have the opportunity to go back over there. And he's back with a vengeance, isn't he?
He is. He doesn't come back, I think, until like the 19th or 20th. So I know we'll be so excited to everyone. The question is, how involved is Robert with Extra Table? I'm like, oh, real involved, like day-to-day involvement, constant calling source. But I'll be so excited to hear our office door with his fist, tell me something good every morning as he walks by on his way to the office. That startles you every day until it's gone, and then you really miss it, and you're like, ready for him to be back. What's he up to? So,
Well, he's a worldly dude. He's got a quest for life, and I have several friends that are actually on this trip with him now, and he's got such an innovative approach to those trips. And I mean, he doesn't refer to himself as a travel agent. He works for travel. He's literally a host. He's literally the guy there, making sure that the people who are on those trips get to experience it. Not really as a tourist, really as much as behind the scenes local view of how it works as possible. And people who go on those trips, they love it. I mean, have you heard from anyone who ever went on the trip with Robert who didn't just absolutely say amazing things about it?
No, everyone just raves. But I mean, have you ever had an encounter with Robert that you did enjoy? So I mean, he's always got some interesting tidbit or something going on. So yeah, those trips sound really amazing.
Extra Table was his brainchild. You've worked with him for a number of years. You've developed incredible partnerships all over the place to help you help people who are less fortunate. As you pointed out, I wondered about that with the inflationary pressures on families, and it's a tough time just anyway for people. But then you add that, and it makes it even more difficult. Do you see the number of requests coming growing?
Yeah, we are hearing from our pantries often, much more than normal, with the fact that people, the gas prices just killed everybody. The grocery prices are killing everybody. And, we're not getting paid more. It's just such a big drastic change for everyone. And so our food pantries are calling us, keeping us informed. We're sending out more food. We're coming up with different ways to get food to them. So yeah, we love to listen to what's going on and react in the best, most efficient, effective way possible in order to get food to all of our food pantries.
Well, you've been such a good, I mean, I bet you're one of the first calls that a food pantry makes because you've been such an important partner to them. You feel that responsibility, don't you?
Whew, yes, I definitely feel it. I go to sleep with that pressure at night. I definitely feel it. And, that was one of the really cool things. No part of COVID was cool, but one of the really neat takeaways from COVID was our food pantries really began to totally understand the power behind Extra Table and the power of fighting hunger with Extra Table and the power of the food that we can get to them and our ability and the logistics and all that kind of stuff, because not for a day were we down. We were able, when they couldn't go buy in bulk, we were bringing it in by the truckloads and making sure they were stocked. And so it's just it was a really neat realization out of COVID as to, what our direct relationship and impact was.
Well, you're doing work across the state, but especially here in coastal Mississippi, you've really strengthened your position here. Give the listeners a chance to hear some of the pantries that you're actually working with.
Yeah, so we serve, let's see, Bay St. Louis, Gulfport, Biloxi, Pascagoula, Ocean Springs. I know I'm leaving some others off. We have 9 food pantries across the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And so those are, important to us. The coast is good to us. We love to, we've distributed shrimp on the coast and potatoes and chicken and all that kind of extra stuff and eggs. But monthly we support 9 food pantries across the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And those 9 food pantries will be getting turkeys in just a few weeks as well.
3,000 turkeys. How do you have access to 3,000 turkeys?
I guess we beat the grocery store meat men booking their turkeys for the year. So we booked our turkeys a long time ago and are grateful for partners that can make things like that happen for us. And, when you say Thanksgiving, like you just vision as a turkey pops up, and I cannot imagine a Thanksgiving without a turkey or a ham. That's just what you do this time of year. And it's a perfect example of how we have so many amazing blessings that we take for granted. We never even think about not having a turkey on the Thanksgiving table, and how much love. And in the South, we come together around food and around the table, and how important it is at the holidays, especially for people to know that meal is going to be there.
Well, what we'll do in the next segment is we'll get into some of the specifics about how people can help you guys. But it's hard not to think. I mean, I think you did a good job of describing as we ease into the holidays, which is amazing to me that we're actually at that point, because I can remember literally saying on Coast Vue in January, I can't believe it's already the end of January, and here we are. We're zeroing in on Thanksgiving. It's a year that just literally has flown by. But when we come back, we're going to talk about tackling hunger holiday campaign, the how you can become a sponsor of a turkey. Again, they've lined up 3,000 turkeys. They need sponsors for those turkeys, and there's a direct role that you can play. If you can't volunteer to go help, this is a really, really inexpensive way to really make a difference and help a family. So when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Martha Allen, who's the executive director of Extra Table, and we'll find out what you can do. We'll see you after this break. Welcome back to Coast Vue. It's the holidays, and you think about eating turkey and all the things that come with Thanksgiving and then moving in toward Christmas. And, there are a lot of people in the community that are having difficulties. It may be that they lost a job. It may be, as we were just discussing, the price of gas and the price of groceries are really a burden on families. They're having a very difficult time making ends meet. And what that causes is that the food pantries that exist all along coastal Mississippi and frankly all across the state have a dramatic need or increase in the number of requests they get for people to help them be fed. And so Extra Table actually was the brainchild of Robert St. John, entrepreneur in Hattiesburg. You probably know him from his multiple TV shows. He wrote the definitive book on Walter Anderson, and the documentary on Walter Anderson now that's being shown all across the United States is one of the most important. And in fact, I'll say this actually: you think about George Orr and what happened to his pottery once the New York scene started to zero in on that pottery. A pot that might have been worth $2 ended up becoming worth $30,000. So, and some of them much more than that. I think that Robert St. John's and his partners' efforts with the documentary and the book around Walter Anderson and how they're introducing that to the world is going to have the same kind of impact. So, Robert St. John has a lot of tentacles that reach into communities across the state. And Extra Table, his effort to buy food in bulk, healthy food, really focused on that, developing great partnerships. He brought in an amazing executive director in Martha Allen, who has worked with him, and she's been a great friend to the show. Our commitment is to do everything we can to help that effort, because what they're doing is really helping the food pantries in a time of need fill some cupboards, and that's what they do. Now, specifically as it relates to the turkey effort and tackling hunger for the holiday campaign, why don't you kind of say it again, and then let's talk specifically about what people can do to help.
Yeah, we're so grateful for our partner, the First Bank, who is the third year in a row for them to sponsor the Tackle Hunger Holiday campaign. And, what are we doing in the South? What are we doing on weekends right now? We're sitting around the table and we're enjoying food because we're blessed, and we're watching football, right? So it's the topic of every conversation is what the Saturday game or Thursday night game, if you're a USM fan in Hattiesburg, is. So, but at the holidays, most importantly, we think about those less fortunate. At Extra Table and our donors and our partners, we're thinking about it all year with our food pantries. It's a big team effort, but a lot of people think extra during the holiday times, especially Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so what is Thanksgiving without family and food and that turkey? And so we've made it really easy for you to make someone's day better, brighter, and that stomach full. We've got turkeys that you can sponsor for $15. You can Venmo me at Extra Table. You can write a check. You can go to tacklehungertogether.com. You can call me up and say, I want to give. Can you drive over and pick my check up? And I bet I will. But, it's a great conversation piece for businesses to employees. It's a great conversation piece for kids in elementary schools to bring $1 to school and to talk about hunger, because it can bring up that other children in that classroom are hungry and the teachers can learn more about who needs support. And it's great, as you're sit in the carpool line or on the way to church on Sunday to talk to your family about the many blessings that we do have and those that are without. And a turkey is such a tangible gift to give to someone that'll just greatly appreciate it.
Extra Table have lined up 3,000 turkeys to help families. $15 is what you can contribute, and you will help a family.
That's right. $15 will put a turkey on a table for a family this Thanksgiving.
Yeah, for sure. And we don't take it for granted that everybody's going to have a turkey, because it's tough times for some families. That is for sure. It's tough times in the normal sort of situation in the community that there are going to be families with need. But then you add to that the inflationary pressures that families are having to deal with, and it's just extraordinary. You look at some of the prices, 30-40% increases in some of these basic needs that people have for their families. You're facing that too, I would imagine. We
are. We like to keep a good amount of inventory on the floor of our warehouse in advance so that these inflationary prices, supply chain things don't affect us, at the moment. So we try our hardest to do that and to purchase smartly in order to position ourselves for the continued support of our pantries and the growth of our organization to support more pantries and to have a larger impact with the ones that we already support. So yeah, we're constantly watching that, but it's crazy. We're looking at an 8.5% increase in commodities right now. And by the end of the year, it's supposed to be at 13%. I mean, that just gives me chills to think about. It's definitely mind-boggling. We're coming to the end of our time together, but I love the notion of engaging schools, and to me, that's a real opportunity for you guys, not just this year, but in the future. My daughter's a teacher, and it's a great opportunity to teach them for sure. Well, $15 will put a turkey on a table for a family this Thanksgiving. So look up Extra Table. All you just do is search Extra Table, and what you'll immediately find there is how to tackle the hunger holiday campaign, and find out what you can do with your $15 to help a family. Please, give it strong consideration. Martha, it's been a pleasure, my friend. Thanks. Good to see you. You bet. Have a great day. Thanksgiving. Oh, for sure. We'll have you back soon. It's been a pleasure to catch up with her. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.